Okay, so this is a continuation of what we were doing before. I finished off all the little scales. Remember, we're enhancing the impressed pattern, incised lines, and enhancing the overall concept of the design. So I tried to fast forward that and kind of start on the second part here so we can move a little faster. I'm going to just set this down. Don't forget that when you get done with your color, like I just finished with my yellow here, screw the cap on nicely and tightly. Give it to someone else if they need it. Otherwise, put it away. Here's my turquoise. I was going to start with the turquoise and get some turquoise onto the scales on the back, on the spines. So here, if we start, again, I'm going to use my detail brush. I washed it out a lot so that there's no yellow getting into it. And of course, try to turn, if I can, a little bit so you can see it properly without my hand in the way. Is that better? There we go. I'm going to just paint these little triangles in here to kind of enhance that overall design. Now, being turquoise, it'll maybe stand out just a little bit. It won't be too overpowering. It's not like I'm using really dark blue and it's going to overpower it. But, you know, if that's what you're going for, if that's what you want, that's fine too. These are your artistic choices to go along with your fantasy creature, and of course it is a fantasy creature, so you know the colors might be a little out there. As far as your colors go, use the rose for the red color. I don't really have a good orange because the orange that I used to order just would constantly crack and peel and break off, and so I stopped ordering it just because kids were getting frustrated with it. Because it would just ruined their work after they were done and it was fired and they couldn't do anything about it. So you're benefiting from their misfortune that I don't order that anymore. Other things, if you need to, man, you make a mistake, you can always paint over what you maybe made a mistake on. Like if I went out of the line here and I wanted to paint over it with green again, I could easily do that. You just have to let it dry. As you're painting one color on top of the other, I'm sure that your artwork will be dry by that point and it'll be greenware, so you'll be able to paint over pretty easily as long as your paints are dry. You can paint over the top. If you start painting one on top of the other, they're going to mix together and they're going to kind of get schmeary. So there you go, there's the spine finished. Now I'm going to kind of move on to the front. I'm going to take this turquoise and I'm going to kind of paint in between these lines here, and I'm going to kind of continue the design with paint. I'm going to continue it up into the little spines of his head. Now, as far as yours, I'm not going to require a certain number of colors or a certain number of patterns. Obviously, you're going to have the base color, which will be one color. Then you have to have some detail extra colors, which will be 2 or 3 colors. So most everyone's going to use 1, 2, 3 colors maybe. How you choose to use those is going to be kind of up to you as far as your artistic choice that you're going to make. But of course, the one thing that I would like is that everyone's is neat, well done, high quality, so that they look nice when you get done. Alright, I don't want to have any sloppy work. No sloppy work. So make sure you're doing a nice, neat job when you're doing it. And of course, be really gentle with your artwork so that it doesn't get ruined at this late stage in the process. That would be a tragedy for people's artwork to get ruined at this point. Okay. Going to continue a little turquoise right up at the top here on the back side of his horns. Wash my brush out really well. Close the blue, or the turquoise. Get some fresh white. unscrew the top there. Make sure you wash your brush out each time so you don't contaminate the new container, and especially if you have any on the little metal part of your brush, the ferrule, you wouldn't want to contaminate the new color. Of course, I'm having to turn mine all over this way and that so that you guys can see it in the video nicely. But of course, for you guys, it'll probably be easiest if you just leave your, fantasy creatures sitting on the table and you're not picking it up. The less you pick it up, the better. The less you're going to have the opportunity to ruin it or something. So make sure to do a nice job by not dropping it or not messing it up. Okay, and I'm just going to put some polka dots on him in the front, kind of like a little puppy dog pattern of seeing where they've got their spots, kind of unique to him. Okay, and wash my brush out really well one more time. And I'm going to get some black to do a little bit of outlining. And that'll be my last color. And notice I'm just kind of outlining the incised lines I've already got. Kind of makes him look a little bit more ferocious too, somehow. Okay, so I'd say that's pretty done. I've got, the different patterns that enhance those small details. I've got my color enhancing my impressed pattern. I've got colors enhancing kind of the incised lines, and then I've got the idea kind of encompassing the whole animal here, the whole creature, kind of helping out the concept or the design of it by adding to all those things. So when you're done with this, make sure that you definitely by now have your first name, last name, your table circled on the bottom, and your teacher right next to that. You've got everything finished, and we'll talk about clear glaze in our next video.